Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I'm totally thrilled you're joining me because today we're uncovering a mechanical mystery that is affecting literally millions of drivers right now. If you've been feeling like your trusty vehicle is suddenly acting up, well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're setting the stage to explore the recent nationwide fuel changes and what they actually mean for the mechanical health of the cars we drive every single day.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you noticed a recent spike in your mechanic visits? Or maybe you're making way more frequent trips to the gas station. If you own a petrol car manufactured before 2023, you might be experiencing some pretty puzzling and expensive new realities. Today, we're going to figure out exactly why your older car is suddenly costing so much more to run.
So, here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, the E20 fuel problem. 2, rising repair bills. 3, the science of engine damage. 4, mileage drop reality check. And finally, number 5, the road to E30. All right, let's kick things off with section 1, the E20 fuel problem, new fuel in older cars. We're looking at a nationwide rollout of E20 fuel, which is petrol blended with 20% ethanol. But there is a massive conflict here, and the crucial point all comes down to this number right here, 20%. According to an analysis of government and industry data by Thomson Reuters, only about 20% of new petrol vehicles sold in India over the last 15 years are actually built to be compliant with E20 fuel. That means a staggering 80% of those vehicles on the road, yeah, they were never engineered to handle this specific fuel blend. To really grasp the impact of this, we're anchoring our investigation in a massive dataset from a recent local circle survey. We're talking about responses from over 44,000 owners of pre-2023 petrol cars spread out across 305 districts. So, this isn't just a small sample size or some isolated issue. These findings reflect the absolute daily reality and the daily frustrations for millions of commuters trying to navigate this new fuel landscape. Moving right along to section 2, rising repair bills, the wear and tear spike. Since early 2025, there's been this dramatic jump in repair requirements reported by everyday drivers. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of the problem. Get this. A combined 55% of respondents experienced an overall increase in wear and tear or repair needs. And when we actually break down the specific repair issues reported, a combined 45% of owners are explicitly dealing with accelerated damage, 24% categorize their repairs as major, and another 21% call them moderate. Only 38% reported noticing nothing unusual. When major and moderate repairs start becoming this common across the board, we absolutely have to ask, what is causing this? That brings us to section 3, the science of engine damage. Inside the engine. Okay, let's take a step back, slow down, and look right inside the engine to examine the actual chemical properties of E20 fuel. It all comes down to this core definition. Ethanol is an alcohol-based alternative fuel additive, and its defining chemical trait is that it readily absorbs moisture from its surroundings. I really want you to remember that. It acts like a sponge for moisture. This single chemical property is the primary culprit behind all this mechanical damage so many drivers are reporting. Let's move to and see how this builds into a perfect storm for engine damage. Step 1, as we just learned, the ethanol in E20 fuel absorbs moisture. Step 2, that trapped moisture leads directly to aggressive corrosion. Imagine rust just silently eating away at your fuel tank, vital fuel injectors, pumps, and metal fuel lines from the inside out. Then, step 3, ethanol actually acts as a solvent. It literally causes the gradual melting and degradation of rubber hoses, seals, O-rings, and plastic components. You have to remember, these older parts were originally only engineered to handle E5 or E10 fuel at most. When they're suddenly subjected to a 20% ethanol blend, they just aggressively break down. Next up is section 4, mileage drop reality check, lab versus real world. Now, accelerated wear and tear is one massive issue for sure, but the other side of the E20 coin is the severe drop in fuel efficiency. Just look at this number, 66%. This perfectly highlights the sheer unavoidable scale of the efficiency problem. A massive 66% of surveyed owners of pre-2023 petrol vehicles reported that their mileage has fallen by more than 10% since early 2025. This isn't just a slight dip, it is a very noticeable drain on the wallet. Breaking down that mileage drop even further, 23% of drivers are seeing a massive drop of over 20%. Another 23% are taking a 15 to 20% hit, and 20% of drivers are seeing a 10 to 15% drop. So why exactly is this happening? Well, ethanol simply has a lower energy density than regular petrol. It just packs less energy per liter. Modern E20 compatible cars have adaptive engine management systems to handle this gap, but older engines, they completely lack these systems. They have no other choice but to just burn more fuel to try and compensate for the ethanol's lower energy, completely tanking your mileage in the process. And there is a glaring gap between the official laboratory estimates and real-world studies. On the one hand, the Automotive Research Association of India estimated that E20 should only reduce efficiency by about 1 to 6%. But on the other hand, independent real-world studies are showing reported efficiency drops closer to 8 to 12% in older vehicles. The real-world toll is proving to be significantly heavier than what those initial lab tests suggested. And finally, we arrive at Section 5, the road to E3. What's next? The data strongly signals that E20 is just the beginning of this transition, and this brilliantly illustrates exactly what the future holds, because the government recently notified a roadmap setting standards for much higher ethanol petrol blends starting in May 2026. We're looking at a roadmap that scales up to E20, then E25, E27, and eventually E30. While these aren't at your local pump just yet, the technical framework is absolutely in place for their rollout. It paints a crystal clear picture. E20 is merely a stepping stone. So we end with this fundamental question. E20 is the reality today, and we're already seeing the toll it's taken on fuel efficiency and mechanical health for pre-2023 cars. But will your older car survive E30 tomorrow? As the fuel landscape rapidly changes, understanding the science behind your engine is more critical than ever. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep a close eye on what you're putting in your tank, and I will see you in the next one.